Hey guys, welcome back to JR14. As time, if I did this review 10 years ago, you would realize, like, if I did a review 10 years ago on two 4-cylinder cars, we would probably have a Hyundai Sinatra versus Elantra versus I don't know, a Honda Civic or a Sentra or something like that. But in 2016 or 17, going into 2017, you have a lot of varieties of how 4-cylinders now are more favorable than before. With these two cars, for example. 2017, yes, my 2017 GTI is a 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder. If you took that turbo equation out of it, it probably would be like, okay, probably makes like 160 horsepower, probably has no accelerator, there's probably no type of fun in it at all. But this is turbocharged. And with that, you also now do have a long way of BMW where they went from naturally aspirated motors to turbo motors. And they downsized in motors all the way back from M5s being V10s to twin turbo V8s. Back where naturally aspirated naturally aspirated inline 6s in BMW's case is now turbo 4-cylinders. So when you look at this market now, as far as turbo 4-cylinders have come, we've come a long way, and the technology definitely has arrived as far as reliability, efficiency, and performance, which you'll see in both of these cars today. So the goal of today's video is to see who could do it better. Who does this 4-cylinder turbo thing better as far as the car itself? Does Volkswagen do it better? Does BMW do it better? Now, it's not a full comparison between the two. Obviously, we're talking about a $30,000 economy car versus a $50,000 compact luxury car. So, yes, they do both have luxury within inside of them, but they're different in many, many ways, as you'll see in this video today. I actually am curious of how BMW does their power versus Volkswagen does their power. They're both 2-liter turbos. They're both around, I wouldn't say the same horsepower, but as far as where the goal is as far as performance, I think they're both kind of somewhat close together. So you know what? Screw it. We have both of them here. Let's look at the specs, shall we? All right. So with the Volkswagen GTI, you do get the corporate TSI platform engine. So you have a 2-liter turbo, engine that makes 220 estimated horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. The torque for the GTI comes on at full, like around, I would say 2,500 to 3,000 RPMs, and will climb around till around close to 6,000 RPMs. Then you'll see it's kind of die a little bit. But an IS-20 turbocharger is attached to it to result in the power that it makes. And pretty good platform, and the power is obviously is driving the front wheels in this platform. All right, so with the BMW 328, you do have also a 2-liter turbocharged engine, making 248 estimated horsepower and the same 258 pound-feet of torque. But the way that these cars deliver power is pretty different. Like I said, the GTI is front-wheel drive versus the BMW, which is rear-wheel drive bias. In this case, it is an X-Drive platform, so it's rear-wheel drive biased. You know, again, two engines that are similar, that seem similar, but have different engineering aspects of them, which I think is pretty cool. You know, both are the same side of the water as far as where their origin is, but handle things pretty differently. Right, so now we're in the my 2017 GTI, and like I said, we're doing a comparison video between this and how would this feel comparable to one of its competitions that have a 2-liter turbo, which will be the 328 BMW with X-Drive. Of course, I feel as if this is nimble, it's fast, it's very efficient in a way that you go around corners and you go around the way it's efficient in everything. Like, for instance, it's efficient in the way it uses its power. It's efficient when you don't need to use the power. It's efficient where the way it handles itself around corners, it's really like a treat for me, because it's you don't expect it from such a small car, but this thing does handle very, very,
oh yeah, like that,
very well.
in corner braking is pretty good in here too.
You're not supposed to
Yeah,
do
like
it,
I know,
when
but
you need to
when
do
you
it.
have to do, yeah. But you know, with a lot of these modern cars, they have where the computer figures out which wheel needs to brake more. Send more brake force to. I'm sorry.
DQs, man. It's a good motor, but it's kind of past its time now.
Yeah, like really way past its time. So, do you regret getting a manual living in New York?
No. At first, I was scared. And I was like, I just knew that at the end of the day, I had to drive in the city. I have to put it in Manhattan. I just have to get over it. So the first day I bought it, I just drove in Manhattan. The worst time. So it's literally like, it's basically like an experience where I was just like, not feeling it too much. Yeah. But after getting used to it and I understand where the throttle goes and not stalling.
Yeah.
I mean, the first time I had this car, I drove it in the city. And I stalled out in the middle of 5th Avenue. And it was very, very scary. Very, very nerve-wracking. But, oh shit.
Yo, you're on YouTube, right?
Yeah!
I seen this review of this car the other day. And I seen the thing, I was like, oh shit. It's sold out there on YouTube. I like it.
Thank you. See, this is why YouTube fans, this is why I continue doing this. And we just found out, me and Mike, we just figured out that the car weighs 3,700 pounds.
Yeah, thing's a boat.
So, 3,700 pounds in a 3 Series. That's, wow. That's.
Yeah, I mean, BMW went from making their cars light to make. I mean, they don't look heavier, but you have to. They went softer, I think. They went more for the whole, the comfortable and the more all-in-one package, Whereas the E46, I mean. Come on now, only really diehard enthusiasts got the E46 M3.
Right.
Whereas
exactly,
it's like it was light, small, which is like the M2 these days.
All right, so I'm gonna do a launch from this car from a dig. Wow.
You know what I was about to say? If it wasn't for the wheel hop, like literally that $40 piece,
that would make a hell of a. So we're in a 2016 BMW 328 with xDrive, and I didn't know this, but it actually, let's just get into the power. That's the first thing I want to talk about, because this car actually has launch control. The way you do that is that you put the car in drive, you slap it over into Sport 1, you mash your foot on the brake, and then you just go.
God, when first to second is like this, you know what I mean? Like
it's violent.
Yeah.
All right. To answer the quick question, is this faster than my GTI? Yes.
I don't know.
I mean, as far as like power delivery, but it does weigh 700 pounds more than my car. Let's just talk about that. Let's just talk about what happened. So, first of all, not dual clutch. Second of all, it is a ZF transmission, which is one of the best transmissions in the business right now. 8-speed. And wow, it actually really did well. All-wheel drive, no drama. No, my car will hop, front tire spinning out of control, but then eventually you get the power. This is just go. That's the first thing of why I think it will get off the line way quicker than my car immediately.
Well, the all-wheel drive,
yeah, it's all-wheel drive, but the way it carries its power throughout, it's really interesting. I find it to be that it's only 248 horsepower, and I don't even think it's just Volkswagen that sandbags numbers. I think BMW definitely sandbags numbers. One thing I don't like about it, it sounds like a truck. It sounds like a diesel, or it sounds like a truck. And that's maybe because of this fake induction noise that they're bringing in through the speakers. Most cars are doing it now. My Volkswagen does it, but it kind of still sounds like a 4-cylinder. But this car is just like, no, I'm just not really feeling the whole experience. I mean, as far as the sound is concerned, just say like 60.
I like how you see how even though it's so high up in the rev range, you still have power to use. Like the whole rev range is usable.
Right.
You know, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you feel it a little bit. On paper, it says that the torque is 258 pound-feet of torque and 248 horsepower. The torque numbers are ranging, the max torque creates from anywhere from 1450 RPM to 5,000 RPM. So 1450 RPM to 5,000 RPM is where you get max torque. Horsepower is a little higher. It's in the mid-range, so anywhere from like 2,500 to 5 grand. You have max
3,500. I think
3,500.
Yeah.
All right, it was 3,500 to about 5,000 RPM. You have max torque. 28. This is their main flagship car.
Not necessarily a flagship.
No, I mean not their flagship.
It's the car that gets sold the most.
Right. It's the car that's the most popular.
Yeah.
328 3 Series is what made BMW.
Yeah.
So this car has to be best. Like, it has to be on point because this is where the most customers are going to gravitate to.
Yeah, you can play around with it. You know what I mean?
Right. Like, even for this though, I like this, but I want more sports inspired.
Yeah.
And me, I wouldn't buy a 328 with M Sport package. Me personally, and that's just me personally. I'm not saying. I just think it's a BMW gimmick, kind of like, for instance, Mercedes. Mercedes does an AMG package. It's an appearance package.
That's pretty much what
nice AMG wheels, and then it makes the car a little lower. You get different style bumpers and all this other stuff. I just think it's a gimmick. You would buy an AMG if you want the performance aspect of it.
Those things hook up. They hook up, but they're run flat, and you can tell the difference. Which, by the way, these are run flat also, so that could make or break it also.
Okay, definitely feels different. I feel more of the travel in the rear.
Yeah,
it's not wanting to come out, but it likes to play a little bit, and that's a good thing. I mean, I'm confident in this car a little bit, but I feel like it doesn't want to do much.
That's what I was more so saying about the BMW suspension, and I think they went like this with all models besides the M. They went for a more softer setup, so you don't have a lot of confidence in it.
Okay. It's
sticking, don't get me wrong, but it just feels like you're gonna lose grip. It does perform good. It's not as confidence inspiring as GTI though. Okay. GTI, you can hold on and just mash it, and you're just like you'll know you'll be fine.
It will just pull in that dip, man.
The BMW
just pulls in more and more and more, and
the BMW kind of like wafted its way over. You get what I'm saying? Until like the point of no return.
Like this. I mean, I like the way that it accelerates a lot.
Yeah.
I actually am really addicted to it right now. Steering kind of numb.
Very
numb. There's a lot of play.
It's electronically driven, not
so
hydraulic.
is mine, but when you put it in sport mode, it makes the steering a little heavier.
Tightens up, yeah.
There's a lot of play.
Believe it or not,
in the steering.
If you put it in comfort mode,
it makes it better. Hitting on some corners real quick and see. Like this corner I took in the GTI, and it was planted throughout. See, like that wasn't a good corner, but I noticed one thing. The car likes to, and again, it's not a performance car, so I expect it to happen. It's a 328.
Yeah.
So it leans, and when it leans, I feel like that wheel's losing grip because I'm making a right turn, so it's shifting all the way to its left side, and I feel like there's no confidence on the inside wheels.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
I understand that the extra is going to save me, and I realize that the extra is going to be like, don't worry about it. I know it's sloppy, but it's cool.
We'll take care of it.
And I'm not saying BMW sloppy because BMW's got one of the best suspensions in my opinion in the business. Because there's a lot of stuff going on with it's just the way that the cockpit is. Oh, yes!
I told you, even with X-Drive, that comes out. The back will come out. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's controllable.
It is controllable.
It's like, oh wow, the back's out. And you just tuck it back in. Yeah.
Wow, it's just
it stays planted. You don't even have to hit the brakes and stuff like that. You just bob and weave right through it. It can handle. It handles.
It's just, I love it. It's just like there's power everywhere.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I like it a lot. Okay. And again, this is why you see a lot of these 328s with this turbo 4-cylinder on the road. BMW, I think they still did a good job. I did not know this car weighed that much. It does not feel like 3,700 pounds.
It doesn't at all.
I mean, it shows its weight in the corners, but agility wise, wow.
Thank you guys for watching this video of performance comparison between the BMW 328 and my 2017 GTI. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, share the link, subscribe it, check out my other videos as well, and that's it. Subscribe. This is the channel right here, JR14. If you haven't noticed, check it out on my YouTube channel, share the link, and subscribe. Take care, guys. Enjoy your afternoon, and